Good morning, everybody. Come on in. Well, it was orchid watering day today, and I just took my time and I was looking them all over, and I decided I'd better check up on a few. And then I thought, maybe I should share that with you. So that's what we're going to do today. We have some interesting orchids we want to check. And the first one we want to check is the latest one, that got changed right away from moss to bark. I did not, some of the species when I changed from moss to bark, and I have some here that I'm going to show you, I slowly picked the moss out. I started out with about 50-50, adding 50% new bark and leaving 50% of the moss in the pot. And it worked out really good. It took a lot longer. I slowly withdrew moss, and now they're all in bark, and so we're going to check that out. And first, it was watering day, and I've been watering this new one. I've been watering it twice a week because it's usually any time you change medium, and it doesn't matter what you're changing from to from, does not matter. Any change in the medium, those roots are used to a different situation. So I thought, well, if I water them twice a week, it's worked for the last about 4 I've done. I've soaked the bark for 3 days in Kelly Magic and seaweed extract, and then I've watered the orchid twice a week until I felt it was ready to make that change. And pretty soon growing season's coming and we'll be seeing new roots. So the last ones did not get any floppy leaves. They did not lose flowers. And so far this one, and I've noticed a few flowers hanging. I believe one fell off. And I've decided I'm going to cut that off. My scissors. And just let the plant now get stronger, because these flowers are almost spent. And if the plant had looked worse, I would have done this sooner. So the first thing I'm going to do, and now if this was a real healthy plant and I wanted to hopefully rebloom off of these, I would cut it just above a nice healthy node. But because maybe next year, maybe another year, I'm going to cut it quite low. There's one little node down near the bottom, and I'm going to cut just above that. So we'll show you that in a minute. Now, Jack and I picked up a little scent bottle at the thrift store. It's beautiful hand-blown glass. And I guess you're supposed to put scent in it, but we don't want scent in it. So I took the little wick out, and I thought, gee, with the design of, let me just take these out. With the design of this, I can put flowers in all the holes, and the center hole's quite big as long as I make sure I keep the water. Now this is from one of my orchids where I have 2 in a pot, and I also thought it only had 3 leaves. One didn't look good, so that one is now cut back also to gather energy. And of course this one of the ones that were out in the heat dome, out in the greenhouse, I want it to get some energy too. So I have started a little vase, and I will enjoy them. And they are just as beautiful, and it's something I can place on the table or wherever I want. We just thought this was so nice, and we're always thinking other purposes. That's how our brains work. So I'm going to set that here. Now, I'm going to show you in here where I cut that. Now, right there. Whoop, put my finger there. There we go. So that's where I cut it. It's high enough. Now you can put some cinnamon on it. I always do, but I'm going to come back and do that. And just don't get too much going on the medium. Just dampen a little Q-tip, and so it will hold on to the cinnamon, and just dab it there. And I'm going to do that after, because I'm only going to water this and probably rinse it off because it hasn't been watered yet. So first I want to check the roots. Now, after the last video I did where we did check this orchid, I went back in because I thought it was staying too damp on the bottom, and put some big pieces of lava rock just to help it air out better, because sometimes only one hole on the bottom, and these other holes, they're small and they're so high up, it does hold more water. And then with the smaller bark, it can easily plug those holes, so that's what I did. So it hasn't had its water, but it will get a soak, but we need to look a little further. Now, when it looks dry, I leave it look dry. I mist the pot, and maybe lightly, just a squirt, but I do not soak the medium. It stays dry, and they get used to that. So I'm just gonna hold my hand firm, and we're gonna see what this is like right to the bottom of the pot. So last time we had some soggy ones, these long ones, and they're still quite getting soggy. And so, you know, I think we're going to lose them anyway. So I'm going to take them right off. And this is happened. We're not going to change anything. We're just going to stay like that. And the same with this one. I'm going to take that one off. Okay. Now, this one's dry, but I'm going to take it off too. So, what have we got left? Well, we know the growing season's coming. Now, here's one here I'm going to take off too. It was a little damp because it has been getting that extra water, but the good thing is we have some nice roots up high. Quite often when you lose roots, and because we're changing this, you have to expect that you probably will lose some. But you notice they're mostly down in the bottom where it was staying damper. So that's one way. And it shows you they do get used to the dry, but it's just a tough change for them. But when they acclimatize, they'll be very healthy like the rest of my orchids. And the leaves have not suffered at this stage. They're still very good. So let's feel this bark. Put her down there. Okay. Now these are the big ones I put in the bottom. I didn't get it all out. There we go. You know, it's slightly damp, not very much. So here's the big ones I put in the back. So bottom, it has been helping dry the pot. But it's just slightly damp. It's not soaking at all this time. And those could have been going from the last time. So, I've got this about half full now because I don't have those long roots and I'm not going to let them get that long. So this way, it's just sitting nicely in here. And I'll water it. I'll soak it for 10 to 15 minutes. At this stage, I never use fertilizer on an orchid that's adjusting. I just, the one use of the seaweed extract in the bark was plenty. I'm not re-soaking it, it's just getting water. I'm going to make a little bit of a hole in there. Not much, but That's better. It will still get watered twice a week. Now I have no roots. I have added the bigger charcoal, so I'm not really holding any water. With the bark, you want everything to just get the bark dampened and then run through. Completely through. You don't want water sitting anywhere. That's why I did add that. They will get used to that lifestyle. And they will be quite happy. So, I won't be soaking it in front of you, but just know that I'll get a little pot and fill it with some nice warm water, and I'll give it about a 10-minute soak. That will be plenty. Just so those roots get a little bit of soak. Usually halfway through, it doesn't really get a soak, it just gets a run through. That's what I call it. So there we are, we're nice and planted, and it will get some water later. Put it here. But I do want to check because I'm so happy. Do you remember, it's Sogo Vivien, my little, from Roehampton Orchids, my little Paloric orchid. She flowered and flowered when I got her. I got her on October the 28th, last year. 28th, yes. And, was it the year before? It said 20, and I can't read that. 22, October, no, it was the year before. It was 2021. See, I'm having trouble reading. I'm a terrible list maker. But anyway, so she did get changed. That was October 28, 2021. She slowly got changed from all moss to all bark. And she did so well. And last year she flowered for a long time. And now this year, and her leaves are happy. She is truly adjusted. Look at her. So a Paloric orchid, and this one will stay a Paloric orchid. She's just, look at her healthy leaves. She's got very healthy leaves. They will stay Paloric. So I so love her. She's so pretty. And I was so happy to see that she was coming into bloom. So what a surprise and what a gift she is. So that's one I wanted to check. Now, Mini Mark. I got November 2021. Yeah, that one was 2021 too. So that's a year later, still looking good. Long withdrawal of taking the moss out. So this one I got November 5th, 2021. And it's Phal Mini Mark. And she also, on a slow process, got changed, me slowly picking the bark out from a 50-50 that I added. I took most of the bark out to start with. And they seem to love this cocoa fiber. And Mini Mark, her leaves look funny. I was worried she lost two. She lost two buds here and over here. I've got that cork keeping her high. Corks come in handy sometimes. And she has good root growth because we did check her just a few videos back. But I thought I was going to not get any flowers, but I think I'm actually going to get some flowers and see what they look like. But she had good root growth, and I'm not going to bother her. So this is the growing season coming, so I think we're going to do really well with her. She doesn't seem, I watched a lot of videos, and some did say they liked a lot of sun. But this one, she definitely likes to be a little further back. She wants it nice and bright, but not too bright. And Also, one of our subscribers, Georgia, so I call this Georgia Pearl, but she's Fantastic Pearl. She had a long trip here from Roehampton Orchids when I got her, and she is doing really well. I'm just gonna, I got some water in there. Maybe I'll take her out for a minute. There we go. This is a toilet paper holder that holds a nice little dish to cat strips, and this is a rubber cone. It's not a dollar store rubber cone. It's a, because those are hard plastic, and I never had as much success as these rubbery feeling ones. So her leaves are looking really good. She has a cork because I'm keeping her leaves. Oh dear. I usually don't park the plant that deep, but because she had a tiny little ball of roots and they didn't go deep, I had to plant her deep just to get them in. But she's healthy. She's got a nice perky new leaf that's been coming, and she has good root system. So she's doing really well. Somebody else would have got that. There we go. So that's what I wanted to share with you today. And the sun's trying to shine, but we've very cold weather coming. Some people down on the coast, you see, we get colder, but down on the coast, they're getting cold. And it's raining. But I'm going to go because I have a feeling that's for me. And we'll be getting back to you with another short video. So I hope you enjoyed that, and nice seeing you all.